Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yes. Please, Anand, please start and go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Thank you. Thank you for providing us the opportunity. Uh, Basically, good evening. On behalf of MK, we welcome all the participants to Punjab National Bank third quarter FY24 post results conference call. From the bank, we have entire top management, including MD and CEO Shri Atul Kumar Goyal ji, and Executive Director Shri Kalyan Kumar, Shri Binod Kumar, Shri M. Param Sivam, Shri B.P. Mahapatra, and the CFO. We would first request MD sir to briefly summarize the key highlights from the third quarter results, followed by outlook on the growth, margin, and asset quality. Post which we will take questions from the participants. Over to you, MD sir.
Thank you very much, Anandji. As far as business is concerned, the total business is grown by 10.82% YOY, and total business stood at 22.90 lakh 74,000. As far as the deposit is concerned, there is a growth of around 9.35% in the deposit, which has improved from the 12.10 lakh crore in the last year on the December 22 to 13.23 lakh crore in current current means last quarter of the December 2023. Advances has grown by 12.90% and stood at 9.67 trillion. As far as saving is concerned, there is a growth of 5.96%, and current is there is a growth of the 6.26%, and the CASA total CASA stood at 5,47,515, and total percentage of the CASA to total deposit stood at 42.47, and it has a little improved from the last quarter, which was 42.15%. Share of the RAM to the total advances is 5.07%, and total RAM stood at 5.12 trillion. As far as net interest income is concerned, it has improved from the 9,179 crore from the December 22 quarter to 10,293. There is a increase of 12.14%, and the operating profit, which used to be around 5,715, to increase to 6,331 with the growth rate of 10.77%. And both the number net interest income as well as the operating profit is higher than the last quarter. Last quarter NII was 9,923 and the operating profit was 6,216 crore. As far as net profit is concerned, it was 629 crore in December 2022 quarter last year, and it has increased to 2,223 crore rupees. There is an increase of 253.39%. For the information to all my analysts also, the net income as well as the net profit, it is the highest in the last 15 quarter of the Punjab National Bank. As far as asset quality is concerned, there is too much of improvement in the asset quality, whether it is a gross NPA, whether it is a net NPA, whether it is a provision coverage ratio. Gross NPA, which used to be around 9.76%, has reduced to 6.24%. And if you compare from the corresponding last quarter it was 6.96%. As far as amount is concerned, 83,584 the gross NPA was in the December 22, which has reduced to 65,563 in September 23, and further improved to 60,371. Similarly, the net NPA has reduced to 8,816 from the figure of 13,114 from the last quarter, that is September 23, and a percentage of the NPA, which used to be around 3.3% in the December 2022 and 1.47 in the September 23, has reduced to 0.96%. The provision coverage ratio has increased to 85% from the December 22 and 92% from the September 23 to 94%. As far as credit cost is concerned, we have given the last time the credit cost will remain in the range of the 1.5 to 1.75, and credit cost in the last quarter, December quarter, it was 1.26%, and the September quarter it was 1.31%, and the 9-month credit cost is 1.56%. The absolute number mein the NPA provision, which was 3,018 crore in September 23, has further reduced to 2,993. As far as slippage is concerned, slippage has reduced to 0.81%. and the total slippage is hardly 1,793, and the slippage in the last 7 quarters, every quarter it is reducing. As far as capital is concerned, total capital is 14.63. It has a little bit reduced from the 15.09% in the last quarter, September 23. It was majorly on account of the increase in the risk-weighted asset in the NBFC portfolio. If you see my total risk-weighted credit RWA, it has increased around 31,000 crore rupees from September 23 to December 23, and out of the 31,000, around 27,000 crore rupees on account of the increase in the RWA in the NBFC. So this is the reason of the reduction in the capital adequacy ratio, although we have also raised the 1,153 crore rupees in the last quarter, Tier 1. And as far as the CT1 is concerned, 9.86, 81 is the 1.87, total Tier 1 is the 11.73, and Tier 2 is the 2.90%. The total is 14.63%, and we have, as you are aware, we have already got the approval of the board to raise the capital of the 12,000 crore rupees in the current financial year 23-24, out of which 7,000 was for the Tier 1, 5,000 for the Tier 2, against which we have raised 3,090 crore Tier 2 in the earlier quarter, and the Tier 1 we have raised total 4,153, 3,000 we have raised in the September quarter, 1,153 raised in the last quarter, that is December quarter. As far as capital is concerned, another, in the last board meeting, we have got the approval of the board for raising 7,500 rupees equity or FPO in the next financial year 24-25. Cost of deposit, which was 4.84% in the September quarter, has increased to 4.94%. There is an increase of 10 basis points. But as far as yield is advances is concerned, it was 8.23% in the September quarter, which has improved to 8.54. It means there was an increase of around 29-30 basis points as against the 10 basis point increase in the deposit cost. This is the one of the reason there is an increase in the NII of the bank. Cost to income ratio, although it has been little bit declined as compared to the last quarter, it was 52% in the September, and it is 51.18%. As far as NIM is concerned, total NIM, domestic NIM is 3.30 and the global NIM is 3.15, where we have given the guidance that our NIM will be in the range of the 3%. Our guidance will remain same. As far as movement of NPA is concerned, the fresh addition was 1,793 crore as against 4,072 in December 22 quarter and 1,826 crore rupees in the September quarter. If you see the slippage data from the last 7 quarter, it is reducing every quarter. As far as cash recovery is concerned, it was 1,828 and upgradation is 1,217. Total recovery for the quarter, December quarter, including the recovery from the technical return of 7,387 crore rupees. We have set a target for 22,000 crore rupees in the current financial year. As against the 22,000 crore rupees, we have already recovered 17,000 crore rupees. So I think we will be in a position to achieve the whatever the target we have fixed for the recovery in the current year. As far as other thing is concerned, I would like to tell you regarding the wage impact. AS15 provision, we have made around 322 crore rupees, and area provision last quarter, September quarter, it was 694, and at that time we have made a provision of the 14% from the November 22, from where the wage revision is due. Now we have made a provision of 800 crore rupees in the last quarter, that is December 23 quarter, and we have made a provision of around 17% where the negotiation has been done. As far as credit cost, I have already discussed. Slippage is concerned. Slippage in the December quarter mainly is from the RAM, agreement 439, MSME 709, retail 434, and others 13 and 198 in the existing NP account where we were having the non-fund exposure that has been devolved. Further, for the information to all of you, as far as floating and the fixed rate is concerned in the advances, around 90% in the link with the either MCLR or repo or the repo allied, and around 9 to 10% in the fixed rate. And one more thing for the recovery from the NCLT. The first quarter recovery from the NCLT was 566 crores. Second quarter it was 556 crores in the financial year, and the last quarter, December quarter, it was 1,831 crore rupees, and we are expecting we will be in a position to recover around 1,200 crore rupees in the current quarter, that is a March quarter. One number I would like to give, which normally I give every time, the new underwriting. This data is from the 1st of the July 2022, 31st December 2023. It is a data of around more than 3 years, 3.5 years. Total loan, new underwriting, we have sanctioned 7.11 trillion. The disbursed is 6.48 trillion, and outstanding is 5.08 trillion, against which the NPA is only 1,576, which is coming around 0.24%. इसमें I will give the further breakup of the sector wise. Agri में it is 0.31 slippage, MSME 1.49, retail में 0.19. As far as other is concerned, as hardly 0.01%. So as far as SME is concerned, SMA 2 was 11,362 in December 2023. And as on date, on 21st January, it was around 7,136. And December 23, the SMA 2 more than 5 crore and above was only 1,336. So from this, you will see all round performance, whether it is business performance, whether it is a profitability performance, whether it is a performance in the assets quarter. There is a all round performance in all the, and the provision requirement is reducing quarter by quarter, and on account of the 94% PCR, we are of the view there will be drastic reduction in the NP provision in times to come. So with this word, this is the one brief about the financial performance of the quarter 3. Now you are open for the question, and I would like to give the whatever the query you will raise during the course of the discussion. Thank you very much. Thank you, Anandji. Thank you all the person who is attending this virtual meeting.
Sir, thanks a lot for the update. So first question, I have is about, you've talked about the wage revision provision that we have made about 800 odd crores during the current quarter. But when we look at the staff cost, it remains largely flat on a quarter-on-quarter basis. So that is basically, can you just explain how basically it has remained largely flat despite making this kind of provision? Number one. Number two, a lot of banks that we have spoken, recently, they have said that apart from the wage revision provision, they have also taken some provision on the increase in the retirement liability. For example, Canara Bank talked about 250 crores additional provision that they have made. Have we also made some kind of provision on the retirement liability during the current quarter?
Yeah, Anand. Point number one, this wage revision. This was 694 crore rupees in September 23 quarter, which has increased to 800. This is on account of up to last quarter, September quarter, we have revised from the 10 to 14% from the November 22, because wage revision due is in November 24, and 800 we have made a provision from the November 22 to till December 23, 17%. This is the point number one. And we have also provided the provision for the pension also on the increased wages also, which I am telling you every quarter we are making the provision for the increased liability for the on account of the wage revision. So we have made 100% provision last quarter itself. Your question is why there is a same staff cost in the December 22 and the December 23. The reason is that in December 22 the AS15 provision was 1,330 crore rupees, which has reduced to 322 crore rupees in this current quarter, but the December 23 quarter. Reason was that because in the December 22, the GSEC rate was 7.33, and the September 22, the rate was 10 basis point higher. So on account of the reduction in the 10 basis points, we were required to provide additional 800 crore rupees in the December 22 quarter. This is the reason. It is flat.
Sir, that's very helpful. Now we'll open up the floor for questions. Any participant, if you have a question, you can use the raise hand option and ask a question. But our request is that...
Anand, may I add one more thing also? I told you 800 crore rupees was for that. Total provision was 1,330. December 22. Yeah. For the clarification, yeah.
All right. So I'll request all the participants to restrict their questions to 2 per participant in the first round, and then you can come back in the queue. First question we have from Maruk. Maruk, please unmute yourself and ask a question.
Yeah, hello, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Maru. Thank you.
So, sorry, but so I have two questions. One is on wages you explained, but just to get the math right. So basically, the provision for the quarter, uh, only for the third quarter is 322 crore, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
That is
what is
that
the
is
backlog provision?
Maru, that
Huh?
is a AS 15 provision. Both are different provision. 800
Yes.
crore rupees provision in the December 23 for the wage revision, and 322 crore rupees is the provision for the AS 15. That is related to the pension liability or the gratuity liability.
Okay. But sir, so basically you had said that okay. So last quarter, what was the AS15 provision? Because there seems to be a write back, right?
No. Last quarter means September 23, na? Or
Yes.
you are telling for the last quarter means September 23 or December 22?
September 23.
September 23, the area provision was 694 crore rupees. And in this particular quarter, we have increased the provision, which earlier we used to make 10%, we have made 14% from the November 22. The total was 694. And 580 was the provision for the AS15.
Okay. So again, 694 plus 580, you have provided 800 plus 332.
Very much right. Absolutely right. 800 plus 322.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. And so my next question is actually very basic. So you have a domestic LDR of around 72%, right? And so it's one of the lowest. And next quarter, say in the March quarter, that is in the current quarter, say if your deposits grow only 2% because you have excess LDR. So suppose they grow only 2%, the year-on-year deposit growth will look as low as around 6%. So would you monitor it that way, or would you look at it from an overall LDR point of view only? Because
Madam,
in the last year's fourth
इसमें
quarter, huh,
yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
in last year's fourth quarter, you had a very, very strong deposit growth like a few other banks. That's why I'm asking. So the year
Yeah,
on year will look lower than current, but that should be okay, right? Because a lot of people, a lot of managements like to focus even on year growth. That's why I'm asking you.
I will give the reply of your question, Maru. First, if you see my CD ratio, loan to deposit ratio, net advance to total deposit is 69.24%. So it is less than 70%. There is a worry for those who, if you are having more than 75%. If you see the gross advance to total advance, then CD ratio is the 73%. Point number one, as far as deposit is concerned, deposit may the 9.35% of the growth of the deposit as against the 12.90% of the growth. Reason behind why we are not raising the deposit, because 1 year deposit we can raise, no doubt, but it is a very costly. Because today the rate of the 1 year deposit etc. has been increased, so we are not giving the rate to the bulk deposit. We are not giving the rate to the bulk deposit, and because I am having the excess SLR also of around more than 80,000 crore rupees. In case of the need, I can use that channel also. And for the Punjab National Bank, deposit is not a issue because we are having 10,000 branches. In last year 22-23, we have opened around 85 lakh account. Saving bank account, a 2 lakh account in the current account, which number has increased in the first 9 months of the current financial year. 76.65 lakh account we have opened, and the current account we have opened 1.97 lakh. Even if you see my deposit growth in the term deposit, less than 2 crore rupees is much more as compared to the bulk deposit. I will give you the data. By total term deposit is 7.71 lakh crore, which has increased to 7.75. Even the less than 2 crore rupees may 5 lakh 40,000 is a 5 lakh 50,000. There is also increase of the 10,000. So we are not depending on the bulk deposit, because I don't require the bulk deposit to because it will impact my unnecessary the NII.
Okay, sir, and just one very last question. You recovered a very big amount from NCLT, 1800 crore something. How much of that would have been recognized through the NII line?
1,831. Normally every quarter, because we are having the good portfolio of the NPA, because we are having the technical written off as well as the and gross NPA also 60,000, then 90,000, around 500 to 600 crore rupees. It depends on the every quarter. Normally 500 to 600 crore rupees is coming in the NII.
So this quarter also same?
Little bit in this quarter, around 100 crore rupees was more as compared to the earlier quarter. 100 to 150 crore rupees.
Okay, sir, that's so very helpful. Congratulations once again and best of luck.
Thank you, Maru. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Maru. Request participants, if you have question, please raise your hand. Jay, you are next in the line. Please unmute yourself and ask a question.
Yeah, hi, good evening, sir, and congratulations on a great quarter.
Thank you,
Sir,
Jayamudra. Thank you.
great, sir. Excellent number and excellent performance on asset quality. So I have a question which partly you have already answered, but on wage provisions, right? So 15% going to 17% will also have some bearing on the AS15 liabilities also, right? So
Yeah.
have you provided anything on that aspect?
Yeah, Jamudra, we have already provided. As I told you, because there is two things. One is the wage revision, then increase in the pension liability on account of the wage revision. That
Correct.
we have provided, because one more thing I may clarify you. We have made 17% provision. Normally, it will not be the 70% on the basic. Because there is
Right.
a lot of components. Some part will go to the HRA, some part go to the lease accommodation. So many things. But we have provided 70% of the basic, which will not be the case. Actually, it will not be the
Right.
70% of the basic. So whatever the impact will be on the pension, because that factor we have already provided in the September itself. Yeah.
So in a way, the 17% you are saying that will take care of part provisioning needed on the pension AS15, enhanced AS15
Yeah. We
liability.
have provided enhanced AS15 also provided, and the 70% we have provided for the
Okay.
basic pay. Although it will not be that 117% actually.
Right. Okay. But sir, I mean, the only question is there are few banks which have started providing on the enhanced AS15 also, but that is okay. So that clarifies this thing. Secondly, sir, there is some treasury loss. There is a loss on the revaluation of investment, right? And is there any, what is the nature of this 10,000 crore of, negative MTM or negative revaluation of investment? What is the nature of that item?
Yeah, Jayamudra, there was one account which has been changed the classification from the NPA to standard.
Okay.
So there was a 700 crore rupees provision in the mark-to-market loss, because it has been shifted from the NPA to standard. So provision for the standard mark-to-market we have to provide on the above the operating profit. The same
Right.
amount was released in the below the operating profit. You have seen, we have already mentioned in our clarification also, on account of the, because if you see my total provision was less than the provision on the NPA. So there was a
Right.
release.
Right. Okay. Understood. And sir, a few questions on margin, sir. So we see this quarter, the yields have expanded by 30 basis point, right? The loan yields. So is there any one-off, or you think that, you are able to, let's say, effectively implement the MCLR regime or higher rates, or this kind of a yield increase may not be very sustainable?
Mudra, last time also and this time I am also telling, as far as our guidance for the NII is concerned, that will be remain in the range of the 3%. And the
Right.
yield of advances, it may be plus minus, let maybe 5 basis point, 10 basis point either. But our endeavor is ki our NII in terms of the actual number should increase quarter by quarter.
Right.
So
So, sir, do you
we will try to maintain Mudra in the absolute number NII in the current quarter itself, but hardly there may be a change in the NII also, because 3.3 is my NII as on date, domestic by 3.15, because some of the transactions where I am not getting 3%, if I am getting the 15%, 20 or only 20 basis point, 30 basis point, so I am not allowing that transaction should go. So absolute number we will try to maintain. This is our every quarter we are doing like this. This is the reason our NII in terms of the number is increasing.
right? No, that is very clear, sir. And so related to that is, sir, that NBFC exposure is actually has gone up, right? And there are few banks which have said that post the RBI risk weight hike, they have started implementing higher yield on NBFC, and in the process they have seen some churn from that book, and they have let it go that exposure. Did the same thing happen to us as well, or that may come up later in some point of time?
Actually, Jay, there is no much difference. If you see, there is hardly only 4,000 crore rupees increase, because 123 to 127. Because
Right.
we are having the books of the 9.7. Sometimes some of the loan in the short term in the nature also. So there is no much impact 4,000. But as far as increase in the risk rate is concerned, so we are negotiating with the higher pricing to the existing as well as the proposed loan also.
Right. And last question, sir. What is your sense on the corporate loan growth for PNB and also in the system? But for PNB, right now I think we are running at loan growth of corporate book is now running. If I were to calculate, then we are running at around this quarter. We have seen around 4% quarter-on-quarter growth and around 10-11% YOY growth. Do you think that over the next 12 to 18 months, it can rise to like 15-20%, or more likely to remain at 10% around the corporate growth, large corporate growth?
Corporate may, I think we may think a little bit increase also, because some of the corporate, they have started utilizing the working capital which they are not utilizing. There is some demand in the capex also, but not too much. But there is too much of demand in the infra as well as the road, etc. also. So I do not foresee immediately there will be a increase of the 15%, but I can think there will be some jump also from the 10 to 12% also. But as far as our guidance is concerned, our guidance will remain same, 12 to 13% for the current financial year, and next year we will see what will be the scenario in the end of the March quarter. Then we will decide what should be our credit growth for the next financial year.
Understood, sir. That is very helpful, sir. Thank you, and I will come back in with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay. Participants, if you have a question, please use the raise hand option. Next question we have from Saurabh. Saurabh, please unmute yourself. Seems that Sir Saurabh has dropped out. Rahul, you are next in the queue. You can ask a question.
Am I audible, Anand?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sir, a couple of questions. First of all, a great set of numbers. So first question, can you give, as your personal loan and vehicle loan, etc., book is too small compared to the peers, what is the target? Can we expect the similar kind of run rate of growth in high mid-teens, or any percentage of loan book you want to achieve, especially in the unsecured and the retail part, apart from the home loan side? And second question, sir, how much of NCLT based projects recovery you are being expected? So for next 2 years, what kind of recovery can we expect? Because currently we are witnessing the recoveries and upgrades are higher than the slippages run rate. This trend shall continue for the next year itself also. These are the two questions. Thank you.
Saurabh, as far as retail unsecured loan is concerned, there is two questions, the vehicle loan and the unsecured. First, I will take the unsecured loan. Total unsecured loan in the retail is 26,800, out of which around 3,500 is 3,500 is the education loan, then around 4,300 in the personal loan to the pensioner, and the remaining is the personal loan. And out of that personal loan, two type of the personal loan. One is the digital. Digital is around 4,328. Remaining is the physical. So the NPA percentage in the digital personal loan is hardly 0.40%. Now your question is, what is your vehicle loan growth as well as the personal loan growth?
Sir, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt, sir. I got your point on growth side. I'm expecting similar run rate of growth will be there for the next 1-2 years, looking at the peers where the loan book as a percentage of share is there.
I think that will be saying because there is a good demand in the retail side, either in the vehicle loan, in the housing loan. Housing loan, may if you see my growth is 30%, vehicle loan growth is around 26%, and personal loan may because base was less. This was the reason it is a growth 30%. Otherwise, 30% on account of the base, it is looking on the higher side. But there is a growth there is a good demand in the all the retail side, even for the MSME as well as the agriculture. The RAM sector total, I can say whatever the demand is there, that will remain there.
So you on side, you will be continuing to grow at a 15-16%, which is the
Yeah,
current run
that
rate.
is our focus area. Yeah.
Okay. And sir, on the recovery from the NCLT, will the trend of recovery and upgrades higher than the slippages for the next year, FY25?
Not, I think you should not concentrate only on the NCLT also, because I am having the stock other than NCLT also. Because last time we have taken a key our recovery 22-23 mein recovery should be more than the slippage, and all the quarter of 2020 22-23 recovery was more than the slippage, and the total target was 32,000, against which we have achieved 29,000. This year, matlab 23-24 mein we have set a target recovery should be the double of the slippage. And that, if you see the last quarter, December quarter, the slippage was hardly 1,763 and the total recovery was 6,387. So it is 3x. So we will not concentrate on the NCLT because we are having the other stock also. So our recovery should be double. That is our target. Recovery should be double in the current financial year. Even for the next financial year, we will set a target. What will be the slippage? Recovery should be double because we are having so much of stock. 60,000 crore rupees is the gross NPA. Then 90,000 crore rupees book is the TW also. So your question is recovery from the NCLT, because if you ask me the 6,300 which we have recovered in the December, the recovery from the NCLT is only 1,831 crore rupees. So it is 1/3 only. So we should not think only for the NCLT is the only reason. There is a other recovery measure also.
And sir, just related question, as your PCR has reached to a very optimum level, but what kind of credit cost guidance you would be giving for the next year, sir? Because I'm just asking this question means within that 84.5%, has PNB taken some contingent provision buffers or extra buffer in case of any contingencies taking ahead in FY25, or RBI intervenes for some higher risk weights or etc.?
No, Rahul, actually क्या है 94% में PCR. Moment 94 PCR has been there will be a very less requirement of the provision for the NPA, because if you see my net NPA is only 8,000 crore rupees. If I will make the provision of 8,000 rupees, there will be no requirement. And if slippage is half of the recovery also, so credit cost is definitely is bound to reduce, because for the current financial year 23-24 we have given the guidelines of the 1.5. If you see the 9-month data, it is coming 1.59, but for particular December quarter it is 1.26. I think we can easily assume that in 24-25 credit cost should not be more than 1%.
Okay, that's very helpful, sir. Thank you and best wishes, sir. Thanks.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you, sir. So before we take up the next question, we have one question in the chat box regarding your tax rate. Sir, your tax rate still seems to be on a higher side, more than 35%. When are we basically going to shift to the new tax regime? So that is basically the question that we have on tax rate. And the another question that we have is on the interest income. What is the amount of interest recognition that we have done on the recoveries that we have had during the current quarter?
Okay. Dama, as far as tax rate is concerned, we have still using the old regime also. We have not shifted to the new regime. That is under discussion. We are discussing our tax consultant what is the appropriate time, because there is some other deduction etc. Also, so they are, as on date we have not decided. We will take a appropriate decision at appropriate time. It is under consultation. Your another question, whatever the interest income on the recovery from the NPA. Normally, another is used to Maru is also the same question. Normally, it remains in the 500 to 600 crore rupees every quarter. Sometime plus minus 50 crore 100 rupees. But this, as I told you earlier also, this time there was a one recovery in the bigger account, so there was a 100 crore rupees extra in this particular quarter.
And do you have any pipeline, like, of big recovery, and because of which that should lead to higher interest income going forward?
We always hope for the higher recovery, because 60,000 crore rupees the gross NPA, 90,000 crore rupees the technical written over. We are having the book of the 1,50,000 crore rupees every time. It is our focus area ki how much we will be in a position to recover in the existing outstanding NPA account. So that is a very focus area. Whatever the tools available, whether it is NCLT, whether it is the NRCL, whether it is a SARFAESI, we are not left out to any opportunity which is available to us for recovery of the stuck amount.
Sure. Next question we have from Saurabh. Saurabh, please unmute yourself and ask a question. Saurabh, please unmute yourself. The next question we have from MB Mahesh.
Sir, could you just let us know which sector contributed to this high recovery for the quarter from this NCLT account?
NCLT account, there is a two major account. I think to give the name is not appropriate in this forum.
Sure.
So two account, but I can tell you there is a two big account which was recovered in this December 23 quarter.
In the sense, these recovery rates, how are they looking, sir, from these NCLT accounts?
NCLT, I will give you the data, because it depends on the resolution also, because you cannot set a criteria ki what will be the recovery in a particular quarter. You can assume for the whole of the year this we can make a recovery from the NCLT. If you see the trend, 566 crore rupees was in the first quarter, then 556 crore rupees in the second quarter, and the third quarter recovery from the NCLT was 1,831 crore rupees, and we are thinking around 1,200 crore odd number will be recovered in the last quarter, matlab March quarter mein. So if you see around 4,000 to 5,000 crore rupees easily, 4,000 to 5,000 crore rupees we can fix every year ki we can make a recovery from the NCLT. But it depends on the total legal. Sometime recovery we are thinking coming in this particular quarter, but sometime it shifted to the next quarter. It depends on the resolution process.
Okay. Perfect, sir. And thanks a lot for this.
Yeah, thank you, Mahesh. Next question we'll take from Rakesh Kumar. Rakesh, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Good numbers, good set of performance overall. So, sir, couple of questions. Firstly, sir, this quarter, the interest accrual is from the recovery on the return off. Is it close to around 1,100-1,200 crores, sir, in the interest income line, sir?
You are asking for the recovery from the technical return account, na?
Yes, sir.
Rakesh,
Yes, sir.
Rakesh, your recovery from the return of account is 2,055 crore rupees.
Interest income line, sir. How much would be in the interest income line, sir? 1,100-1,200 crore?
No. 2,055 is the recovery from the return of account, and as I told you, normally it remains interest income of 500 to 600 crore rupees. There is around 700 crore rupees, because I told you in this particular quarter there was some excess recovery. But I may clarify you, 2,055 recovery, but there is some provision also against this recovery, because if there is a change of management, we have to make the provision in the investment side also.
Okay. And sir, in the slide number 30, there is a mention of gross NPA, sector wise, industry wise that we have given. So in the energy, there is some increase in the gross NPA number. So from 450 crore to around 1,300 crore. if you can help us understand, sir, where this increase has happened on this gross NPA.
Rakesh, I may tell you also. There was one account which was technical written off, but later on it has been restructured now. So this was the reason there was an increase in the this NPA figure. Yeah, because it was in the technical written off books now, because when we have restructured the account and they are making the payment as per the restructured terms, so it has come in the live book. This is the reason. Otherwise, there is no addition. Actually, there is no addition.
But sir, after having written off the book from the balance sheet, so how do we take it back in the balance sheet then?
That is a book entry. Suppose the account is remain in the books, amount is remain in the book, you have made a provision. This is also one of the resolution process, because normally if we are writing off the account, so we are getting the cash recovery, but one of the account on account of the change in the, because they are having the PPA agreement, etc. also. So now unit is running, so then we have restructured the account. So this is the reason it has increased. Yeah.
But instead of restructuring the account, if we recover the account, the TWO account, so was it written off or it was only 100% provided, sir?
No, as I told you, it was 100% provided and written off.
Okay, so okay, but okay, we will take it later. Maybe.
I will explain you offline also. Yeah.
Yeah, and second point was, sir, on the NBFC private, sir, there is a good growth that we have seen in the NBFC private in the within the NBFC vertical, the slide number 14. So
Yeah.
Considering the risk weight increase, sir, how do we pricing the fresh exposures?
Whatever you are seeing, 53,000 to 60,000 private NBFCs also. So
Yes, sir.
this
Yes,
was mostly before the increase in the RWA. And I may clarify you one more thing also. There is one sector. If you are giving the loan to the private NBFC for the priority sector, suppose for the agriculture, for the MSME, etc. also, so there is no increase in the risk weight. So this is the reason if exposure has increased, even the pricing will not increase in the sector where the loan is for the priority sector. For the other, you are asking about the pricing also. Definitely for the other NBFCs where the classification is not coming the private sector, we are charging the higher rate of interest. There is around, we have made a calculation on account of the increase in the RWA. There is around 20 to 25 basis points increase in the pricing. So that we are demanding.
Okay, great, sir, great. And sir, last question, sir, on the ROA, what is the estimated ROA or guidance you can provide, sir, for maybe FY25, sir?
1%. I have given the guidance because every analyst is asking when you will be reaching the 1%. So we have told 1% ROA. I think we should be in a position to reach at the exit of 24-25.
At the exit. Okay, but overall, sir, on an average for the full year?
Average maybe little bit less also, but for 1%, I think we should be in a position to achieve at the exit of the 24-25.
Got it, sir. All the best for the future performance, sir. Great performance.
Thank you, Rakesh. Thank you very much, Rakesh.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Rakesh. Next question will take from Ankit. Ankit, please unmute yourself.
Thank you, sir, for taking my question. Hello.
Yes, Ankit, please go ahead.
Sir, my question is the performance of the bank is improving quarter by quarter, looking good. Everything is looking good. Sir, my question mainly, sir, gross NPA and net NPA, there is a long gap. Like net NPA have reached below 1%. There is almost nil gap to cover. But in GNPAs, you have a lot to cover, sir. Why this so much of the margin, sir?
So you tell me, Ankit, only one thing. Suppose my net NPA is 0. Suppose because as on date only 8,000 crore number is the net NPA. Suppose we'll make the provision of 2,000 crore rupees in the 4 quarter. Let us assume 2,000 crore rupees, we are having the operating profit of the 6,000 crore rupees odd, and after 4 years it will become zero. So what is the relevance of the gross NPA number? Gross NPA number can be reduced by writing of the, we are not choosing that route also. Otherwise, gross NPA number can also be reduced if we are doing the more write-off. But if you see this 6.24, it was 11.78% in the March 22. It is
Okay.
hardly 50% from the March 22. It takes some time to reduce
Okay,
the
sir.
gross NPA number. Yeah.
Okay, sir. My next question is, sir, how you are seeing the growth of India, in which PNB can participate? Which sectors, forthcoming new sectors are being coming where you are seeing a great loan growth? How you are define the next 1 or 2 years as an economy point?
All the sector, Ankit, we are the one of the largest bank of the country. We cannot fix only the one sector or the another sector. Where the growth opportunity is available, PNB is the part of the growth story of the country. And if you see in the now India is the one of the choicest place for the entire world, because it is one of the best economy developing, and even the last RBI policy also 6.5% GDP has been increased to 7%. So it is one of the best destination among the world. Everybody is thinking to set up their manufacturing unit. So we cannot restrict to the one particular segment. So any segment where we can participate, we will not mind to participate.
Sir, lastly, sir, I have not seen your presentation. Sir, what are the net interest margin for this quarter?
Net interest margin. Yeah. You mean to NII or the net interest income? Net interest margin. The net interest margin 3.3. 3.3 was the domestic and 3.15 for the global. And we have given the guidance, we will remain at 3%. Last time also we have given our NIM should be around 3%, because there is some transaction where we are not getting more than 100 basis point, 50 basis point, but we are utilizing that opportunity, that market is available. This is the reason
Okay.
in terms of the percentage it may reduce, but we will try to maintain in the absolute number.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Ankit. Mahesh, you have a question because your hand is raised. So any other participant, if you have a question, you can use the raise hand option and ask a question. Yes, Kunal, please unmute yourself and ask a question.
Hi, sir. Congratulations on the great set of numbers.
Thank you,
I just have
Kunal.
one question, sir.
Please.
So when do you expect the final ECL norms to get implemented?
Kunal, I think it depends on the regulator also. I think it will not be appropriate to give me answer of this question, because draft guidance has already been come. So it is a call to be taken by the regulator. But we are ready. We can say that we are ready. Whenever the regulator will take the decision, we will implement.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kunal. Next question we'll take from Chintan. Chintan, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. So first of all, congratulations on great set of numbers. So I had a question on slippages. So agri slippages. So we have seen a dramatic reduction in agri slippages. So what has been the strategy there? How are we able to reduce the slippages to such an extent? Yeah, any help there? Any guidance there? Yeah.
Chintan, we are working for the last 1.5 years, not only in this particular quarter. If you see 439 in this quarter, even in the last quarter, September quarter, it is 424. You see, and in Q1 also it is 360. It has not reduced in particular quarter. We are working in the last more than 1.5 years. And every quarter, whatever the slippage in the agriculture, we are recognizing. This is one of the reasons, nothing else. Yeah.
Sure, sir. And so, sir, on ECL, also, any guess what would be the total provisioning required for us under Ind AS, and also how are we provided on that? Any idea there?
Okay, last time also somebody has raised this question. My answer is same. It is a draft guidelines. There is no set formula also as of that. Everybody is taking different formula. And if what will be the guidance? 5 years will be available for this. So I can say only what will be the, we will not be much impacted. Earlier there was a worry because your provision coverage ratio is less, etc. Now my provision coverage ratio is 94%. So we will be at par with the industry. We will not be the outlier of the industry. Earlier this was the worry. So as on date, that is not worry.
Sure, sir. And also on the outstanding DT amount, what would be a current outstanding DT, and when do we plan to migrate to the new tax regime? Any thoughts there?
Yeah, we are just discussing. We are just discussing with our tax consultant also. So as on date, we are using the old regime also. Then when we will be in a position ki there is a benefit to shift in the new regime also, it is under discussion.
And sir, on data point question, what is the PV01 number, if you could share?
PV0 number, I think if I am correct, it is around 10 crore rupees. Yeah.
And so one last thing on the restructuring part. So what would be a total restructuring, including DCCO and SME restructuring? I think there are two tables in the BSE filing. There are some separate restructuring numbers in the PPT. So just wanted to understand exactly what is the outstanding.
I may give you OTR1, OTR2. OTR1 outstanding standard, it is 2,939, and OTR2, this 6,781. This I am telling only the standard, not the NPA. And whatever your question for the DCCO, if there is a change in the DCCO, that is not coming under restructuring.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you, sir. That's it from my end. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And all the best. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chintan. Sir, we have one question in the chat box, which talks about that there is a lot of noise around the loan waivers being asked for public, particularly in the northern India. Any thoughts over there?
Hello, yeah, Anand, can you repeat your question? Anand?
Sir, basically, a lot of there's a lot of noise around the Karza Maafi and loan waivers asked by some activists in northern India. So this was a question which was also posed, I believe, in one of the other public sector banking call. So any thoughts over there? Do you see any impact which actually this can have on the asset quality?
As on it, I don't have any thought on this. Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah.
Sure, sir. So any other participant, if has a question, basically can raise a hand option and ask a question. Yeah, someone from Indus Equity has raised a hand. Please unmute yourself and ask a question.
Congratulations to PNB team for excellent result. And sir,
Thank
my
you.
question, Sushil Choksi here. Sir, my question is, sir, what is your expenditure on digital and human resource, as you've taken good care of your past legacy to resolve all your problems? To be future enabled, digitization is a must. And second thing, the human resource for betterment is also a must. So what initiatives have you taken and what kind of capex are you going to incur on that?
Okay, as far as HR is concerned, we have taken a lot of initiative on the HR transformation also. Even this HR transformation is under implementation, where we have taken the very big consultant also, and it will be implemented by March 24 completely. As far as total expenditure on the HR, including salary, etc., is concerned, it was around 4,460 in the December, and it is in the same range because it is on account of the change in the provision which we made in the AS 15 in the December 20th in this particular quarter. Otherwise, it is on the higher side. Your second question regarding the digital basically depend on the how much we are making the expenditure on the IT initiative also. So normally our budget for the IT in the whole of the year is around 2,500 crore rupees.
Sir, your outlook on treasury based on what the Fed is guiding and what RBI governors is speaking, and the inflation is tapering off. If oil is stable, how do you see your treasury behaving? And are we seeing the peaking of deposit cost by this quarter end or the next quarter? And how are we placed on that?
इसमें there is some different view. Although if you see what was the December 22, 23, what 7.17. It is the 10-year GSEC. It is the 7.77, and September it was 7.22. Although there is a ease in the 10-year GSEC from 7.2 to 7.17, 5 basis point reduction. But I may tell you there is no reduction in the deposit rate. Deposit is not cheaper as on date as compared to the September. Deposit rate has increased. So I do not foresee any change in the deposit in very shorter period. Deposit will be cheaper in the one quarter or the second quarter also, even if there is a reduction in the GSEC rate also.
So then you are expecting that the repricing of deposit plus cost of deposit for next 6-8 months on the next 2-3 quarters will stay elevated. So neither will your MCLR drop and you don't see lending price going down.
Yeah, at least for 6 months, though, we can think. 6 months, because whatever the trend prevailing as on date in the market, because 1 year deposit is not available around 780, 790. I was told some of the bank has quoted more than 8% also. So in short term, so I am not thinking, because everybody is after the deposit, but we are not on the bulk deposit side. We are not giving very aggressive rate, because we are having the Axis SLR around 80,000 crore rupees.
Thank you, Mr. Sushil. The next question we have from Rahul. Rahul, please unmute yourself.
Thank you once again. Just a follow-up question, sir. Can you give some color going forward on the fee income part? Because it has been muted even in this quarter, and even if you look at on a 9-month basis. But as you are finding the RAM segment of the share on a mid-teens growth, how should we looking at a fee income?
Rahul, there is a lot of pressure on the fee-based income. Reason behind that, because there is a two thing. If you are choosing very good quality account, so there is a very competition in the interest rate as well as the other charges also, because the good corporate client, AA or AAA, they are not ready to pay the processing fee, etc. Also, even if they are getting the non-funded facility also, that is a very competitive also. So this we have to decide which type of the customer we want to lend. If definitely we want to lend the good rated customer, so fees income will not increase too much. But ultimately, what we can think, we can increase the turnover. Ultimately, we have to see, because we are not compromising on the asset quality, we are compromising on the yield. But if you see my NII, there is an increase in the NII quarter by quarter. It means we are growing much faster as compared to the compromising on the basically compromising on the asset quality.
And sir, rightly understood, sir, but are you bundling for a particular corporate in terms of getting its wallet share? Or you are just focusing on a good quality corporate that comes at a lower yield and go for more asset turn so that it leads to volume growth?
No. That is not the. I am just telling you, because if you see what is my portfolio of the AAA, what is my portfolio of the AA, even I can give one example. You see the portfolio of the NBFC. NBFC, my portfolio is around 1,27,000, in which 99% is the A and above A. And one more thing I can say, A may only 2,799 crore. So such type of the borrower is not giving the processing, but we have set up our new vertical marketing, where we are giving the focus on the garner the other business like personal loan of the corporate, salary account of the corporate. So we are trying to give the combo deal. If we are compromising on the strength, we are giving the combo deals, we should get the other business of that particular corporate by way of salary account, housing loan, car loan, and the other loan to their employee also. So where we can think to increase some other income, fee-based income basically.
Okay. That's very helpful, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul. Sir, we have one question in the chat box that's primarily related to the funding cost. So how do you see the funding cost shaping up in next 1 or 2 quarters?
Funding cost, yeah, basically देखिए, if you see my first, I will take two things. One of the cost of deposit, if you see my cost of deposit is 4.94. 4.94 as against the 4.84%. They are hardly only 10 basis point, because my 95% deposit has already been repriced. So my only 5% is the deposit which has to be repriced. So cost of fund, if you see, it is in the range of the 4.3, 4.4. So I do not foresee, except 5-10 basis point, there should not be much increase as far as cost of fund is concerned of the Punjab National Bank.
Okay. So there is another question in the chat box from Shashin. He is asking that what will be the sensitivity on the investment book provisioning linked to the 10-year benchmark, and what is the average duration of the AFS book at this point of time?
I will give you the one of the modified duration of the AFS as well as the HFT book. It is 3.54. And we are not required to book the provision on the mark to market on the STM as on date. So 3.54 is the very reasonable, and as on date we are immunized as 7.17. So 7.17 we have already immunized. We have made a provision which was the prevailing rate on the December 2023. So we are not seeing much change in the mark to mark provision as on date. Yeah.
Sure, sir. I think we are largely done with all the questions that we had. So basically with this, we would want to end the call. But before that, if you have any closing remarks to make.
Closing remarks, Anand, only I want to assure all the analysts also, if you see the performance of the bank, last 7 quarters, in all the parameter, whether it is a growth in the business, whether it is a profitability, if you see the 3 ratio, operating profit, net interest income as the net profit, it is increasing every quarter. Similarly, if you see the assets quality, gross NPA, net NPA in terms of the percentage as well as in terms of the amount also, it is reducing every quarter. And similarly, the PCR, which is the one of the major factor to increase the profitability of the organization, that is also improved to 94%. So I can assure to all the bank is on the very right path. All the employees, 1 lakh, they are working, whatever they can do betterment for the organization. Day and night they are working. Focus area is the recovery, focus area is the containment of the slippage, focus area of the how to improve the CASA and how to make the use of the digital. That is also one of the priority area. HR transformation, which I just told you, March 24, it will be completed. After that, we will be in a position to make the difference between the performance and the non-performance. Then it will further add to the productivity of the organizer as well as the each and every employee. So this is my closing remarks. Nothing more I want to add. And I hope that every quarter you will see further, next quarter you will see some good number also. This can I wish only.
Thank you and best wishes, sir. With that, we will end the call. Happy evening to all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Anandji, and all the team who attended this virtual. My thanks to all of them also.